others, but I can't think of them right now. But you'll all bring your talents to deal with this one issue at hand. So here we have 3 people all working on different things, presumably things that they're good at. So I, for instance, know how to program, but there are so many programmers who are so much better and faster than I am that it makes much more sense for me to work with a programmer and work on the design. Each of you will find there's something that you have to bring to the group that it's lacking. And hopefully you'll get a little bit of input from everywhere. If you find yourselves in a team that doesn't have an artist, advertise that. Ask around to the other groups, say, oh, are there any extra artists lying around? Or you can just use designer or programmer art and have something a little rougher, but ideally you want to have somebody in the group who can supply those things. So you split up the work and forge ahead. We provide the key ingredient, and jammers provide the various dishes for everyone to enjoy. MVP, which is not most valuable player. I spent a lot of meetings wondering what MVP meant without asking, but I did finally ask, and it's the minimum viable product. So what is required to make a full game from the fragments that you have? The process outlined should help you create a product. This will be the gem at the center of the design. What is the design that is entirely necessary and yet sufficient to provide a good experience to a player? Again, let's try to focus on that polished gem as much as possible. Of course, there are going to be things that come out rough, but maybe very entertaining. There are things that are going to come out at the end of the jam, and you've learned an important lesson. For instance, last year at the jam at the Orlando site, I was working with a group who used one of these NeuroSky transmitters, and what we did was we learned an awful lot about how hard it is to work with a new piece of hardware. But that was something that we could take away and say, oh, you know, this is a really cool piece of technology anyway, and perhaps I want to use this in another way. But we all came away from it learning something. So I'm kind of reiterating the point that it's tempting to spend a great deal of time talking about what you're going to build. But I'm encouraging you to limit the time that you provide for this, maybe setting a deadline at the outset that maybe Friday night you talk and starting Saturday morning you build. But putting some kind of parameter on that is helpful, because otherwise you could talk your way through the whole weekend and have nothing to show for it. So, ready, set, go make something. And now I'm open for questions, which I hope you have. to look at what's out there and figure things out and give you feedback so then you can move on to the next piece of it. The ARG is something that hasn't yet got an adequate marketing model, and until that happens, it's going to continue to be kind of a fringe element in game design. But if you have a chance to work on an ARG, I highly recommend it. I had always worked on games where the player was more or less on rails. I mean, even in an MMO where people have the ability to go way outside the circles that you thought they were going to be going in, and produce things that you never expected them to produce. The ARG is that way, but the players get to touch you back, which is very bizarre. I had been used to doing games that ended up on a shelf, and you bought a box, and you put the box down, and you put it in your computer, and you played it. And ARGs are all about discovery and puzzles and obscure bits of knowledge, and unexpected things. I was in charge of answering the email for that game, and got these in-character letters from people that were extremely moving and extremely personal. And sometimes I felt like, wow, that's, whoa. wasn't planning on hearing part of your life story here. But as a designer, it was really interesting because I was so used to kind of throwing things out there, and if they floated, they floated, and if they sank, they sank. But this give and take between players and the development team is, it's heady stuff. So if you get a chance, by all means, try it. Don't expect it to do brilliantly, because they frequently don't. There have been many more produced than have gotten press or a following, but still worth doing.
I'm curious, does anyone know about ARGs being made at game jams? I wonder if it would be even possible.
It could be. It could be if you did it in a contained way. When I was teaching at USC in their cinema program, I was teaching online multiplayer game design. And in both of the groups that I taught, some number of members decided to do an ARG, which I applauded them taking on the effort, but even a semester was demanding. So a weekend you'd have to know Friday night exactly where you were headed to be able to pull it off. Yes.
How do you feel about participating in a game jam with teams that you already work with versus trying out working with new people? What's your take on that?
That's a great question. There are positives to both ways of doing things. I prefer to work with people I haven't worked with because I don't know what to expect. That kind of surprise element of finding out, oh, this person who I met at an IGDA drinking event actually is a great audio person, but he never talked about it because his primary thing was doing programming. Working with people you know obviously gives you kind of a head start in terms of, okay, I know what we're dealing with here, and I know what we're capable of, but I like trying out new things. That way you're more likely to push the envelope, and yeah.
How often have you seen game jam mini diamonds that have turned into an actual product, or been a seed for an actual product?
Every game jam has some games that turn out a final product. Usually the participants decide that they're going to continue to work on that satisfying in a way. But I really like to see people try different things, and when you step outside the first-person shooter or the next zombie game, of which I've seen entirely too much of both, and the occasional pirate thrown in for excitement, it's very gratifying to see something that's complete, and the participants are more satisfied with themselves. But I would say that if you feel it's viable, then pursue it afterwards. Good games turn up everywhere, and getting them going is half the battle.
Steven?
We mentioned ARGs, which might be a bit too challenging for a game scenario. Any suggestions as to what genres might or kind of routes one might go down which might be suited for a 48-hour genre?
I have to think about that for a second. It's a very good question. I think that part of what's very interesting to me is that people will take the same ingredient and come up with vastly different interpretations of it. This can happen with a prototype of a game that has minimal art, just has circles, and some people look at these circles interacting with each other and say, oh, this is clearly a pirate game. How could anybody do anything but a pirate game with this? And other people will look at it and say, they're bees. Obviously, this is a bee-making game. The end result is going to be different. I personally wouldn't get involved with a team that wanted to make another first-person shooter, because I've been there, I've done that, and it's been done a lot. As people who are learning about making games, I think that you're a little less polluted than people who have been making games for a long time, and you're more open to trying new things and being experimental, which I wholly support. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Or do you have a follow-up?
No.
Okay.
So, one or two more questions. I see two hands there. Still is.
You've been working as a game designer in the game industry for 30 years. What would be the advice you would give someone who would like to enter the industry as a game designer?
Ooh. First of all, everybody believes they're a game designer. I have been approached by all kinds of people who believe they were game designers. Now, obviously, if you're studying to be a game designer, presumably you have a leg up on people who think they're game designers. So getting that education is important. Game designers need to play games. If there's one piece of advice I give out more than anything, it's play games. Because you learn a lot by playing other people's games. You have to deconstruct them, though, as though it was a film project. I have a stepson who's now 19, but when he was younger, I had a rule in the house that if he got a game that he wanted to play and he was really into, he could disappear into his room for 3 days or a week or whatever, but when he came out, he had to deconstruct the game with me and look at the different pieces, look at what was compelling, what wasn't compelling, how are the graphics, how did the graphics follow the theme, etc., etc. So I was kind of doing a little graduate program with him.
Does son also want to become a game designer?
Actually, he wants to be an inventor.
Okay.
So his father is very into So the combination of the two has turned him into a little mad scientist. For his 17th birthday, he made a Tesla coil.
Okay.
So,
Good luck with that.
yeah. But talk to people, experience things. I think of being a game designer much the same way as a writer gets trained as a writer. You know, quick anecdote. I was in Costa Rica and I was staying at a place that had been built for volcanologists. So it had seismograph readers, and you had to take this little rope bridge over from the lodge to where the seismographs were. And it was nightfall when I got there, but I really wanted to see the seismographs before we left. So I went out by myself and go check them out, came back. And as I came back, I noticed that they had lit torches at the corners of this bridge. And I was sitting there on the rocks just looking at this and noting that the floor of the jungle was more than 150 feet below me. And thinking, how can I capture this and put it in a game? Because this has such a primal feel to it. It's so compelling and so exciting. And my husband came up to me and said, "Oh, I found you. You've been missing." I said, No, I've been sitting here looking at this. Wouldn't this make an amazing game setting? And he looked at me and he said, "Patricia, this is the real world. This is a real thing." And I divorced him. There were a few other factors in there, but that was a big one.
Seriously.
The inability to understand why I found this exciting. It's like, wow, if you don't understand why I found this exciting, then you don't understand me at all.
Okay.
So,
There was another Jean-Luc, you had a
Yeah.
question.
Yes, you were talking about brainstorming being a group activity.
I'm sorry.
You were talking about brainstorming being a group activity.
Yes.
And as someone who wants to perhaps engage in projects a bit more on the solo aspect, am I kind of a lost cause in this regard? Are there any alternatives to this perhaps?
There are. We, at my last company, when we were doing a brainstorm session, we would invite the one of the admins to sit in. We'd invite a producer to sit in. You can do it with your friends, drawing on different aspects of your life. You can pull people in. You can do your brainstorming on your own and go through that process of producing a whole bunch of ideas and then have someone else help you prune them down. Because the idea here is that you're trying to make a game for more than one person. And the danger of brainstorming all by yourself all the time is that you're not getting that pollination, that cross-pollination that comes with other people's experience and other people's ideas, which I find that when I'm working with really exceptional people, I rise to their level and produce things that I never could have done on my own. So you're not screwed. You just have to be a little bit more imaginative in how you garner input from other people. You know, talk to your friends about it over dinner. And if your friends get excited about it, okay, you've got something. And if your friends kind of look at you like, oh yeah, then maybe you want to change course a little bit. But I'd say that you can do it by yourself, but it's really not as satisfying. So,
So I think this needs to conclude the evening and the speech, unless there is one more. In that case, thank you so much, Patricia. And let's give her a big hand.
thank you all for coming. I really enjoyed it.
I realized that I placed myself probably kind of in front of the camera for